Russia has taken to the deep in a bold new bid to reshape the nuclear balance. A wave is rising from the depths, silent, unstoppable, and nuclear. Moscow has revealed its latest strategic system, the underwater drone known as Poseidon. President Vladimir Putin confirmed the test, declaring it a new generation strategic system with no possible interception. For Russia, this is not simply another weapons reveal, it is a message. The system, introduced alongside another high-profile test just days earlier, marks an escalation in Russia's nuclear deterrent posture during wartime. Poseidon is not just another torpedo. Over 20 meters long, this unmanned underwater vehicle is nuclear-powered and uncrewed. It is designed to travel great distances beneath the sea surface, traversing thousands of miles, evading sonar and nets, and striking coastal targets with apocalyptic force. In one description, Poseidon is portrayed as having the capability to trigger radioactive tsunamis and wipe out entire coastal cities. Powering the system is a miniature nuclear reactor, allowing it to remain submerged for months, cruising silently, a ghost in the ocean. For Russia, the ocean becomes a weapons platform, a front line in an underwater battleground previously unseen. Strategic analysts frame Poseidon as part of Russia's second strike deterrent, a weapon that, even if Russia's surface and air defenses were crippled in a nuclear exchange, could still survive and strike back. It is designed to survive first strikes and to transform the oceans into the ultimate domain of nuclear confrontation. Just days before the Poseidon announcement, Russia tested a second major nuclear-capable system. President Putin oversaw exercises involving the nuclear-powered cruise missile Burevestnik. He said it possessed an unlimited range, and Russia later reported the missile flew roughly 14,000 kilometers over 15 hours, a long-range demonstration of defiance. Together, these two tests underscore Russia's push into superweapons territory, nuclear-powered propulsion, underwater or air-launched, designed to evade current defense systems and instill strategic fear. The undersea domain is now declared an operational front. He said, "We have tested a nuclear-capable, nuclear-powered underwater drone." This blunt statement from Putin reflects more than technology. It is a strategic posture. In his view, if Russia's nuclear deterrent must adapt to missile defenses, to long-range precision strike weapons, to emerging US-led alliance moves, then Russia will lead. One expert notes that this escalation comes after several developments: the introduction of Russia's Archnik missile in November and announcements of additional systems about to be deployed. Russia clearly wishes to send a message in a moment of geopolitical pressure, following the collapse of a high-profile meeting between Putin and then US President Donald Trump, plus US authorization for Ukraine to use long-range American weapons inside Russia. Moscow is responding. He commented that if Ukraine strikes deep inside Russia, the effect could be devastating, that Russia is going to respond very, very decisively. In short, Russia sees itself cornered and is signaling that its nuclear arsenal is evolving rapidly. He said, if former President Donald Trump does not accept Putin's offer to extend the New START treaty for another year, then Russia is going to continue deploying these terrifying nightmare science fiction-like nuclear weapons. Here you can see Moscow framing arms control as a hostage to its weapons modernization. The underlying message, if you don't accommodate our terms, we will accelerate. The legacy of the New START treaty is central. Russia is warning that the upcoming February expiration must be extended, or the modernization pace will be unstoppable. From Moscow's perspective, these tests bolster its negotiating leverage and send the West a strategic signal. He said, when the Archnik was tested, former US National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster said that the US would not have a response for at least 15 years. This metropolitan statement underscores how Russia wishes its new systems to be perceived: a leap ahead of conventional defenses, an emerging asymmetric advantage. On the Burevestnik side, Russia claims an invincible missile propelled by a small nuclear reactor, capable of subsonic flight for global reach via unpredictable paths. The missile is billed as able to evade all current missile defense architectures. Yet outside experts remain skeptical. Prototypes, repeated setbacks, and risks of environmental contamination, some analysts call it flying, Chernobyl cloud the outlook. For Poseidon, the technical ambition is maximal: weeks or months underwater, nuclear propulsion, megaton warhead, tsunami capability, depths of 1,000 meters or more. But according to open sources, the system is not yet operational, and deployment is projected for later in the decade. Thus, Russia's message may be as much psychological as operational. Nevertheless, the testing announcements serve to alter the strategic calculation of adversaries and provoke arms control dilemmas. The combined announcement of these two systems, nuclear-powered missile and underwater drone, marks a watershed moment in Russia's doctrine. The ocean floor and the high-altitude cruise corridors are now canvases for nuclear signaling, not just traditional silo or submarine-based ballistic missiles. If operational, these systems could undermine the reliability of missile defense shields, complicate second strike calculations, and blur the boundary between conventional and nuclear conflict. Some analysts warn the world is moving closer to the nightmare scenario many feared for decades, a nuclear-capable vector that is near uncontrollable and deeply destabilizing. Moreover, the timing matters. Amid the war in Ukraine, NATO expansion, and Western authorization of deeper strike weapons for Ukraine, Russia appears to be reinforcing its readiness to fight not only with conventional forces, but with strategic deterrence writ large. For states and alliances watching closely, several key questions emerge. Arms control erosion. If Russia refuses to extend New START and continues testing these systems, the existing nuclear arms control architecture may collapse. Operational status. Whether these systems are purely signaling or truly operational remains contested. If they proceed to deployment, the global strategic balance may shift. Escalation pathways. The introduction of such weapons raises the fog of war risk, unintended escalation, and may blur thresholds between conventional and nuclear. Environmental and safety risk. Nuclear-powered missiles and drones carry inherent risks of reactor accidents, radioactive contamination, or unintended detonations. Diplomatic leverage. Russia appears to be using the tests as both deterrent and bargaining chips, implicitly warning the West that if it pursues deeper strikes or extends alliances, Russia has the tools to respond. From Moscow's vantage, this is not just about war fighting, it is about strategic narrative. Russia will not be out-innovated, it will not be contained, it will define the new rules of nuclear deterrence. As one senior Russian official put it, the systems we're deploying now make a mockery of missile defense plans. Whether that is bravado or reality remains to be seen. But in the high-stakes game of deterrence, perception matters as much as capability. In the coming weeks, eyes will turn to confirmation of deployment, independent verification of test claims, especially reactor power operations, and Ukraine Western responses. This is but one chapter in what may become a deeper competition in novel strategic weapons. And it is a competition in which the oceans and skies are once again active arenas.